dong. Smart. Brought to you by Mighty Swell, the cheapest alcohol.
Oh, do we have a sell for you? Let's go over this way a little bit. Actually, no, you're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, just a tad. Is this good for you? Sis? Oh, so we have been obsessed with this drink, Mighty Swell. And you're like, why? Is it because it's delicious? No.
Why is it so good?
It's so good because for a pack of 12 at Trader Joe's, a 12-pack of Mighty Swell is, tell him, Matt.
$4.99.
Woo!
So cheap. That's typo cheap.
It is typo cheap. We thought that there was it was a mistake, so we bought them. We bought more.
Let's put in a perspective. What does a 12-pack of Topo Chicos cost?
Like $17.99.
17, and that's a good price.
For the best seltzer.
$4.99 for 12 of these mysterious alcohol drinks.
Please continue watching or listening to the episode before you go to Trader Joe's, or just keep listening on your way. They do go out quick. The second they put it,
if they're in like all Trader Joe's.
I was wondering that too. My mom said in Florida they're not. We're in LA.
Well, they're from Austin, so I mean, they must just send them to cool cities. I don't know.
Sorry.
They're good though. Well, do you remember? You want to tell them why they're cheap though?
First, before I forget, they taste like Trulies. If you were wondering, more on the sweet side.
Yeah, they're very bold flavors, which not a big fan of. We don't like that.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. So they're cheap. We talked to the guy at Trader Joe's. All of the employees at Trader Joe's, when you get it, they're like, "This is the best." They get it, but you tell them. You tell them.
Oh, I'll tell them.
You tell them.
Basically, it's because these are borderline expired. I've never heard of expired alcohol.
Yep.
They go, yeah, they're expired. I think it's a mixture of them trying to get their name out there, but also, one, we've never heard of it. Two, if you're trying to get your name out there, how do you already have ones that are expired? You know? And
they came out with new flavors last week, which is like how many different...
So we're trying peach for the first time.
Yeah, we're feeling...
It's all right.
Peachy. It's like, I like it.
They're all like, if you like, I mean, it doesn't bug me like with fake flavoring. Some people get real weird about it. I think they're all good. It's just, they're all like B plus flavors. Let's be honest. I'm not drinking it for the flavor.
Yeah. We're drinking it because of the burps.
Yeah. I'm trying to transition into a dragon.
Oh.
It sounds different. Oh, no, it sounds fine.
Oh, okay. Phew. They hit you quick. So this podcast isn't about seltzers. I wish it was.
What's it about?
Pissing yourself.
Nice. I must be at the wrong podcast because I just shit my pants. Wrong cast.
Oh. So the guy at Trader Joe's that was telling us about these, he was like, I buy all the boxes. He was the best.
Very nice guy.
I like to do a segment called The Weekly Wiener, where every week we talk about a big ass wiener, like a
physical penis you saw in the real world. We were at Starbucks. He was homeless.
And I was like, shit, it's too early. Coffee first, please.
That's a mansion-sized dick. You're homeless, but that dick belongs in a mansion.
I want a shirt that says coffee first, wiener second.
What?
A t-shirt that says that.
There you go. That'll sell out here.
So the weekly wiener is somebody or something that happened that really pissed you off, but was a really small thing. It just didn't have to be a very inconsiderate person, an annoying person, just a wiener. Like I always think when a person takes up 2 parking spots, wiener.
Right.
Trader Joe's guy, not a wiener.
Yeah, I don't know why you kind of...
No, because I was like, that's the opposite of a wiener.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's the opposite of a wiener.
Was that a smooth segue? I feel like it was really bad.
You were like, speaking of that, I'm going to do a segment that's the opposite of that.
Man, should we start over?
No.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, welcome.
Oh, we're not starting over. No. That was fine.
What? No.
Why would we start over?
I was kidding.
Oh. The mostly awkward podcast. Slam 4 of these.
Oh. This is Matty Chymbor.
Hey, so are we doing the weekly wiener now?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first? Or you have a good
You
wiener?
can go first. I want to hear yours.
My wiener is my neighbor.
No, say it. Say it proud.
My wiener is my neighbor.
There you go. Fuck them.
He taught me.
Which one? You got a bunch of dicks around you. Speaking of big dicks. Speaking of fat old dongs.
That one. He taught me that when someone talks too much, you need to be rude. It's the only way to show them that you aren't
Who said that?
interested. I did.
Oh, you said that. Okay.
That's what I learned.
That's right.
So he's learned to not start a conversation with me after I've been trapped in many conversations. But some things you can't avoid. Like last night when he was outside of his door, which is next to my door, singing like opera or something like that along those lines, as loud as he can.
This was before you came to my place?
Yeah. So
I mean, how would you not open the door and just be like, what are you doing? I mean, I can't even, I would put such a kibosh on that. The fact that
kibosh?
The kibosh.
What's the kibosh?
Put a kibosh on it.
I've never heard that before.
Maybe lives under a rock. I mean, sometimes I'm like, have you heard of this? She's like, no. And I'm like, you don't know what pneumonia is?
Oh, yeah. How did I say it?
You didn't. I said, I hope I don't have pneumonia. You're like, what's that?
I've never had it.
I mean,
kibosh? You have to look it up. So how much do you know it?
Kibosh. Kibosh. Put an end to. Dispose of decisively. Put a kibosh on it.
I like that.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
So put a fucking kibosh on old American Idol hoarder.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was awkward. I was leaving soon. It was really annoying though. That's my wiener. Because that didn't have to happen. You shouldn't sing outside of your apartment.
Not at all. I mean, that's insane that people are just that oblivious. Is he, I mean, to be honest, is he decent?
I guess
Is he a singer?
I guess he used to be a singer, my landlord said, or give singing lessons. So he has the tools.
Paint the picture better. His door was open, or he was singing inside with his door because he has a screen door. He was like
standing like right. He was like singing out to the world.
Bro, you should have. How you didn't just take your phone out and open the door and just be filming him and being like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's the most city neighbor comment you could have made.
I should have.
I'm sleeping here. What are you doing?
Next time. It's awkward to be rude to someone who you are going to see all the time.
Be rude, but I mean, call me crazy, isn't he being rude?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, hey, I like that you're a singer, but you're 5 feet from my head.
That's the thing about wieners. Them being rude makes us feel rude. Makes us rude. And in turn, we, most of the time, sometimes look like the asshole.
Makes me feel uncomfortable, yeah. Because it's like, are you really putting me in this position right now?
It's a position we should not be in.
Yeah.
So, now you've heard about my wiener.
I mean, it's a thick ween.
It's a solid ween.
It's a big wiener.
It's a very loud wiener.
Yeah, it's real loud.
My wiener sings. Does your wiener sing?
Your wiener sings opera in the middle of the night. In the moonlight. I wake up, I'm like, what is that silhouette in my window?
It's a wiener.
It's just your penis singing to the moon.
No, it's not a penis.
It's a wiener.
It's a wiener.
Weekly penis is a different segment.
That person was really mean.
What a fucking douche. That's so annoying.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Mine is, see, yours is someone you interact with. Know who mine is? I was thinking about that annoyed me, and you know it is Renoa from the Manti Te'o documentary.
Oh, that's God.
That's a century wiener.
That was
so basically
mind-blowing.
Not to spill the beans, but the Untold series on Netflix, does like documentaries on sports figures for the most part, one of which was the Manti Te'o, Notre Dame football player. He, long story short, got exposed because he quote unquote had a fake girlfriend. Come to find out he was getting catfished. So the whole documentary is just kind of unfolding all that shit. And one of the my wiener is the person who was catfishing him, just the way this person carried themselves, because for some reason they were in the documentary equally as much as he was.
Maybe even more. So she had, and the weird thing is when Manti was getting catfished, Renoa was a man. During the documentary, he transitioned to a woman. So now you're watching the interview of a transgender woman. But she had this air of like importance. Like she was telling the story like they were equal characters in it. And you're like, you're the sociopath who ruined this guy's life because you're a piece of shit. And the fact that you're even in this is mind-boggling. I thought about it earlier. They're like glorifying her to a degree how they glorify murderers in crime documentaries. Yeah, and how women think they're hot and want to sleep with them. Just like, this isn't right.
But yeah, you're right. But it's like how you're like, why are you and the victim equals in this documentary? It's like you ruin someone's life to the extent of the psychotic selfishness of one leading a person on for a long time. The day his grandmother died, you felt like he was being distant, and you faked the death of this fake person that you created to egg him on. It's like that outlandish shit like crazy girlfriends do, where they want to they just go crazy, do something to get the attention and guys.
And they don't know when to stop.
Right. So on top of the girlfriend dying, the grandmother dying, this Renoa fucking whatever made the fake girlfriend die to make him even more sad, and then realize, oh, I got a rise out of him, but that rise killed the relationship. So then 3 weeks later, brought the dead girlfriend back. But yeah, this is I mean, this is all in the news. I mean,
it's been I'm kidding.
But and then on top of that, was such a psychopath, brought the dead girlfriend back to say, and you're like, fuck that person.
But the way she was a wiener was because she said, I wouldn't have changed it if I could have. You ruined this dude's life.
Yeah, they made it seem like it was like, like the struggle they went through. Like, you know what? We came out better, people. It's like, no, they didn't. You ruined a guy's life for upwards of like probably 3+ years. We don't know how long the insults lasted. And again, it's like, why that person was even in the documentary blew my mind. They're like, now what's she doing now? She's doing like hula dances, like as a trans woman. You're like, who gives a fuck about this
No matter
person?
who she was, she's a bad person. Anyone that would do that to anybody and then make jokes about it. And so she's laughing, telling her side. And then he's like
gossipy,
devastated.
Yeah, like gossipy when at one point.
Ooh, the Dr. Phil line.
At one point, Renoa, we'll say Renoa was the man who catfished Manti. It's very confusing to say man and then she, but when she was still a man, they were trying to figure out how he did the female voice in the phone calls and voicemails to Manti. Had him on Dr.
He did a really good female voice.
Had Renoa on Dr. Phil to do the voice. So in that that scene of trying to like understand it, the trans version of Renoa was like, yeah, like Dr. Phil wanted me to do this. I was like, like trying to be funny with the recap, and you're like, they wanted facts out of you, you psycho. They don't care about you. Mm-hmm. We wanted to pull information from you to understand this scenario for the sake of this guy. And she took it as like, they care about me and you're like, you belong in jail.
Yeah, I felt really, really, really bad for that guy. But it was a great episode. You should definitely watch it.
Made me so mad.
And I agree that she is a huge wiener.
I mean, yeah, she's a piece of shit.
So would she be a penis?
No, she doesn't get the honor of having the penis.
Wait, I don't want to make the penis the bad thing. The wiener, she's a wiener plus.
She's a golden wiener.
Usually, yeah. Usually a wiener's a small thing that bugs you. She ruined someone's life.
I couldn't even think of weekly wieners because of that overshadowing my life. I could have had a neighbor singing, and I'm like, at least you're not this trans chick from that documentary. And he's like, why are you saying that to me? And I'm like, you go inside. Keep the singing up.
All right, we'll give her a golden wiener.
Yeah, so that's it for me.
It's a good wiener.
It's too much. I don't know. TV gets you worked up.
It does, and it really shouldn't.
I was like, TV is when we sit down and relax to shut off comedy for the day, and then in turn, it's getting us worked up, and then we go into the comedy world. It's like when I used to let my cat outside in Connecticut, before I'd let him out the door, I would kind of fuck with him so he'd get pissed off, and then I let him out.
That's mean.
He's trying to be a cat. You want to be a cat in Connecticut? You got to wake up.
It's a cat killer.
No, he would go and then probably get in fights, but that's what Manti did. That documentary did to us. We went to the world worked up. You came home, screamed at your neighbor.
I should have been more feisty to my neighbor after watching that.
If you want me to get you worked up before you leave.
No!
You're like, stop it. I'm like, now go. Go into the world.
Stop singing. And then I just stare at him and awkwardly back up into my apartment.
Or you out sing him.
Oh my God. Why didn't I think about that?
That's like a Nathan For You episode where rather than tell him to shut up, you sing better than him so he stops singing.
That's a great idea.
See?
I can't sing. That's if you're wondering. Oh, can she sing? No.
Prove it.
If I sing in
you
the
are a good singer. What are you talking about? In the car, you're not bad.
I like to hit it in the car.
Didn't your mom say your grandmother or somebody was a singer?
Yeah, I come from a family of artists.
But no, wasn't someone in your family a singer?
And then my great grandma.
Yeah, so you know what you're doing. Don't let her fool you. In the car, I am like, I think she's a good singer. She's just too scared of it. Get a couple Mighty Swells on her shoulder.
I go from a kitty cat to a tiger.
Yeah, there you go.
I never want to say that again.
We'll clip that. I don't want to say that again on a thing that'll live on the internet forever.
I'm a kitty cat or a tiger.
There you go.
My nail chipped today, speaking of weens, and I didn't have time to fix it, so I painted the tip of it red.
Oh, God, what did you do? The hell did you do?
I figured from far away you wouldn't notice, but now
Looks like you have blood on your finger.
Now I pointed it out.
I should have. I mean, I get it was white.
I didn't have time.
You didn't have any orange.
I do. I just was in a rush.
You have yellow?
I've got all the colors.
You know yellow and red make orange. You could at least did it orange.
I'm not a kitty cat. I'm a tiger.
Mandy didn't know what the primary colors were. I was talking about painting, and I was like, I don't want blue. She's like, can't you make blue? I go, no.
You think that if you would add green and yellow, you would get blue?
Oh, you do? You get? Wow, maybe I'm dumb right now.
Oh.
No, what are the primary colors? Because I know you can't make.
I really hope that I was right.
No, okay. First off, I'm gonna primary.
We're not cutting this.
Well, yellow and green. Now I'm dumb. What does yellow and green make?
Team Mandy, who is it?
Color?
What?
Now I look like now I'm a weekly wiener. Color.
It's okay. We're all wieners.
Oh,
That's
you're
the
right.
thing.
It is a. Hold on. Yeah, yellow and green doesn't make blue.
Oh, fuck.
You can't make a primary color. I fucking knew that. Yellow and green makes lime green.
I was so close.
Singer. Singing wiener.
No. I got so excited.
I was like, you ever have somebody say something so wrong to you? You're like, am I wrong? Because I was like, I know that's right.
We were talking about how when like a stand-up is really bad, but they're so confident, and you're like, wait, they like trick the audience, so the audience is like, wait, are they good?
I mean, shit, we definitely see that enough.
You just list the name. I'm like, no.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Okay, blue, red, and yellow.
He's a painter.
I am a painter. Blue, red, and yellow, baby. Primary colors. I'm excited to try the other colors.
I know. I think I should go grab them.
Can you go grab one?
Yeah. Do you want to give a commercial break?
You're going to cut it anyways.
No, I won't.
Hey, welcome back to Misery Loves Mandy podcast. Brought to you by Adult Diapers. No, I'm just kidding. They're not by adult diapers. I mean, any diaper's an adult diaper if they can fit in it. If that was my neighbor, I would attack him physically and then sing. My neighbors know not to make noise because I let my presence be known. I do malicious, shady things. One of my neighbors leaves his door open, and he thinks he's Kramer. I'm like, you don't leave your door open.
He's Kramer. That is a wiener. That's a better wiener.
No way. I need to get these catfish fucks out of here. Sorry. All right, let's try this flavor. I'm surprised no one's done grape yet.
Yeah, why wouldn't there be grape? There's grape
Everybody
soda. There's grape soda.
I know.
I used to love the grape soda from the 25-cent wall. At Walmart, they had the 25-cent soda machine in the front.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, the
love
Sam's
grape
Club
soda.
one, and I'd always get the grape soda.
Grape to make the color purple. You do yellow and,
And
orange.
green.
Yellow and orange.
Say the same one for every time, yellow and orange.
Yellow and green. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Some flavors are better. Like peach is like a tough one. You know what I'm saying?
Some flavors are better than others.
I'm
Quote,
sure- yeah.
Matty Chymbor.
This guy is bright.
The other day he said, the sun is hot.
Yeah. Technically it is.
It was just fun when he said that because I say stuff like that all the time. So when he does, it's
It's fun to just say.
It's a win.
obvious. What did you say? Well, I don't know. We got to write those down.
we do. I started writing them down a while ago, like it's cold in the shade. And I was going to make a little thing called like Mandy moments.
Mandyisms.
Mandyisms. But then they sounded so much like that old SNL
Don't
stuff.
fucking do your thing.
Mm.
You worry too much about other people's shit. Like, she thinks you should watch comedy specials to make sure you're not doing other people's things. That's such a wrong way to do it.
Oh, Nikki Glazer. I had a joke.
Don't even watch it. Everybody.
No, it was a great special. It was so good. And she had one of my jokes word for word, pretty much. The concept word for word. Can't say not word for word.
I don't watch specials.
And she nailed it. And my joke is dead.
It's all right.
But that
show
special
must
was
go
really.
on.
The show must go on. It happens. It happens. So, Misery Loves Mandy, a mostly happy podcast. Why do I have to say the mostly happy thing? Misery Loves Mandy is a podcast where I talk to stand-up comedians about miserable moments and whether or not they made it into a joke or not. How's that sound? Oh, excuse me.
You have guests that are commenting.
I do.
And they're going to go like this. Just know that. They got my fucking...
I hope they don't watch this.
They got my...
They won't.
My peach juice on. Maybe Swell.
Peach juice sounds creepy
Yeah.
or sexy. I don't know.
You tell me.
Oh, there was that movie where Timothy Chalamet just like put a hole in a peach and it's juicy and weird.
What the fuck movie's that?
I forgot what it was called.
You like this? Juicy and weird. Why'd you do that? You like this? Juicy and weird.
I think I was visualizing the
Your
scene.
head did like a peel out. Weird. I'm like, are you leaving?
You're making me you're making me feel like when I was in middle school and you'd make like a really, really strong facial expression, but you couldn't take it back and all you would say.
What facial expressions would you do?
I don't know. I just remember maybe like what I just did, like skid out with my face.
Real juicy and... Your head just like left the scene.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, that's a miserable moment. I'll not make into a joke.
It's all right. So explain the segment again. Sorry.
So we'll talk about an embarrassing or a moment that happened to you in real life, in the life you're living. And
that I did make into a joke.
and that you didn't. Both.
What do you want first?
Let's do that you didn't. We'll end with the winner.
Doesn't mean it's a winner.
He's funny. He's the winner.
I didn't make this into a joke because it was too traumatic, but one time I had to go to the doctor. And basically, during one of my physicals, they found more blood cells in my urine than normal. And long story short, they were like, in doctor fashion, they're like, hey, we're just going to run some tests. Probably nothing, but could be the worst thing ever, cancer. And I was like, oh, good, nice. I gave you 0 or all of it. And in the process, I love doctors always ruling things out. We always got to rule it out. I go, yeah, that's never fun. Whenever we rule things out, it's not fun. And one of the ways to rule it out was them to shove a cord-like camera in my penis past my prostate into my bladder to look around, which is a very like barbaric. Like we're just gonna take a peek around, and it was just scary. I mean, the build up, and it wasn't what like. This is why I feel bad for patients that get diagnosed and then the procedure can't happen. I mean, they told me it could be bladder cancer or whatever or nothing in like early December, and my appointment to quote unquote rule it out wasn't until the beginning middle of January.
It's a long
So you're
time.
just like, hey, could be cancer or literally nothing. Enjoy the holidays. And then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
lots of wine.
Oh my God. I mean, you forget about it. You go through kind of like these days where you're like, this sucks. And days where I'm like, I fucking give a fuck. You kind of just like, what do you want me to do? I don't know. And then leading up to that, terrifying. I mean, they had me go in this waiting room, and again, I don't know why I didn't think of like some of the steps prior to the camera inserting into me, because I was just thinking about every fucking thing else. And I lay down. They're like, okay, the nurse is gonna clean you up and give you Novocaine, and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't think they were gonna do that. And then so I lay on this like kind of looks like a dentist chair almost. They raise me up. She gives me like this like piece, like the plastic they use at the dentist office, that kind of like
little, but that's just like that.
Yeah, but they put that over this.
Whoa!
And there's a hole in it already. She has to go like this. She has to go like this and pull my dick out like it was a piece of like
what?
Like they had to like thread it through, and then she
Oh.
literally at this point. I remember at this
you prairie dogged it.
Whenever I was hard the whole time. Whenever I'm at the dentist or the doctor's office and like giving me a cavity or anything that's painful, I always just stare at the ceiling, like literally into the light, anything. And I remember like that whole time I just stared straight up at the whole time, and just like I'll dig my finger into my nail.
Just one finger?
And she like, I felt the needle just go into my dick. I don't know where. I couldn't tell you where. It was somewhere at the tip. They numbed it. And then she goes, all right, the doctor's come in. I mean, it's scary because like the procedure, you don't know what to expect. It's only like 30 seconds long, but it's like the buildup is so much anxiety. And then the doctor comes in. And mind you, you're waiting the whole time. And at one point, the girl knocks. She goes, sorry, it's taking longer. I'm like, of course it's taking longer.
Why would it not?
The shortest procedure ever is taking longer. And then the doctor finally comes in. He just fucking puts like jelly on the fucking thing. It was legitimate jelly. It was Smucker's jelly.
What flavor?
It was fucking strawberry. It was peach.
Ooh.
Is there peach jelly?
There is. There's every jelly.
There's every jelly. That's what Mandy says when she gets pulled over for a DUI.
But there's every jelly.
There's every jelly.
Doesn't make sense.
So, and then he goes, all right, I'm gonna do it. You're not gonna feel it in the urethra, but once it gets to your prostate, you'll feel it. And I remember it's actually pretty crazy because like it's numb, but you feel him doing stuff, and you see next to you there's a TV screen that's showing what's on the camera. So I see movement, and he's like, and they gave me they gave me laughing gas, and he's like, okay, all right, take a deep breath. So I know it's gonna do the painful part, and it's weird. It's not like painful, but it's like a sharp feeling, like a real, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you like brushed against something like hard. It didn't scratch you, but it didn't feel good either, and it's a lot of pressure. It's like it's a feeling you never felt before.
I don't want that.
I mean, when they're shoving things in you, mind you, you're signing documents. I got to take a pill to, avoid infection. You're thinking about everything. And then I kind of glanced over, and I just see fucking just hamsters in me.
Ew. Tell them what they said, what they asked you.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. And then the doctor's like, "Hey, do you want to look inside?" And I'm just like, "No, I don't need a tour. Just get it done. I don't care what my bladder looks like. My bladder doesn't care what I look like. It's like a boss peeking into the factory. Hey, what's going on in here?" All the workers are like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, I have no business knowing what's going on.
What was that show with the boss pretended to be undercover boss?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like when Michael Scott would go down to the paper factory in office.
Yeah,
They're always like, "Leave." Mm-hmm. I had no business. Whatever's happening in my body, let them do their thing. I'm out here doing my thing.
A lot of respect for your body.
I do. I trust that it's being managed well. Clearly isn't, because things are wrong where they have to shove the fucking undercover boss. They put a little fucking they put a disguise on the camera. They're like, "Oh, it's just another part of the bladder checking in." Okay. So anyways, they shoved it in. Hit at the tip of the camera. Is like it sprays a fluid to aggravate the walls of your bladder so they can collect a sample to take it and send it out. And then and then they pull it out. And then,
is that what it sounded like?
And then, no, it did not sound like that. And then they fucking, you feel your dick just go like, I was like,
damn, it's a heavy dick.
And then she, "Okay, you're good," and they clean you up, and then you're like, "Fucker just left like lube on my dick," and I'm like, "Jesus Christ, you just left me out hanging high and wet." And then they walked out, and he's like, the good thing is, I mean, in that moment, he's like, "You're good. Everything look great. You look good. We're gonna send this out, but I think you look good. You're gonna come. We'll schedule a checkup for 3 months." And yeah, but I mean, it's so funny because from being either nothing or cancer, they were like, "Okay, we're just gonna have you drink more citrus." And I'm like, "Really?"
Did they say that?
Yeah, they literally go, "It seems like you have some kidney stones forming. You should drink more citrus. You can either take this pill or just drink more citrusy drinks." And I was like, I love how they're like, it's either cancer or you have to drink more orange juice. Wow, quite a big difference if you ask me.
You got the winner though. You take the citrus.
Yeah, so now I got cavities because of all the fucking OJ I'm drinking. But that joke is still, the wounds aren't healed yet. It's funny. I'm sure I bumped into funny things explaining it, but it's like, that was just that was like a 3-month span, and then one procedure on top of that. I got a CT scan, which I had to pay for, as you're well aware of. I'm still waiting to be reimbursed. I mean, it's just like, it's like a job. Everyone's like, "Why don't you talk about your job?" I'm like, "Because I don't like it. I don't want to. I don't want that in. I don't. That doesn't yield fun. I don't care to bring it up."
You have to wait till it's a healthy amount to where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anymore.
I know it's a good joke because I don't want it to be funny, and I know there's pain in there and people can probably resonate with it. But right now I'm like, I need to just fucking let that. Yeah. I need to let the dust settle in my bladder.
Your dick settle.
Yeah, my bladder got filmed. I'm good.
You know what I was wondering is, so you had a guy and a girl. The female was a nurse. The nurse was a female, and the doctor was a male. Can you believe that?
Believe what? Oh, that the doctor was a male.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
But when I go to the gyno, I always have a female. It's weird that you're more comfortable with your own sex, although, what do you think?
If that was when it comes to my health and me being worried, I don't give a fuck who's my doctor. I've had female doctors fucking look at my dick and balls and shit. I mean, I'm like, when I'm scared, I'm like, I don't care who you are. You can be fucking dressed like a clown. And I'm like, if you're going to just tell me how I feel, I'm happy with that.
You're telling me if a clown came in to take your physical on your dick,
I would be like, you know what? If you know what you're talking about, everybody can stare at my dick. If you know what you're fucking...
That's such a funny visual.
I'm not like that person, like, I want a guy only. I'm like, I don't be a fucking girl. I don't give a shit.
I guess for a guy, it's not as
like, I don't
weird.
want guys as my gyno. You're like, shut the fuck up.
No, then you look up the Yelp reviews, and there's tons of pervy gynos. So there's a reason.
All right. Well, guess what? When the girl doctor looked at my dick, she went, ugh. And I was like, what? She goes, nothing. She's like this.
And squirted lube.
This is her face the whole time. She's like, and I'm like, is it good? She's like, I mean, health-wise, yes, but physically, no.
That's why during sex he stares into the light as well.
I just stare up and shove my finger into my thumb and just go, please be done. Mandy's like, you want to come see what it looks like? I'm like, no. So, yeah.
Oh,
Things went in my penis.
It's really funny.
I'm a 2020 man, 2022 man. Oh, things just come out of your penis? What are you, a fucking cis straight male? I'm an ally.
Isn't a cis?
My penis is a pussy.
We'll get you a penis hat.
Yeah, it needs a gun and a shield. Probably paparazzi trying to go in it.
Oh, man. Doctor stuff, though, is always a thing that is tough to talk about at first.
We talked about that. Remember, we compared that to listening to sets where it's like, whether you think you have a bad set or you think something's wrong with you, you go through those stages of like, I'm fine, I'm not fine, and denial. You don't want to acknowledge it. And then finally you're like, I'm going to call the doctor the same way you're like, I'm just going to sit down and listen to this. Whether it's good or bad, I need to know. So you just got to, but it's just shitty. Like, even my fucking eye now. I have a dehydrated eye. I can't see straight. I mean, what the fuck?
It's definitely not the $5 12-pack of drinks we've been having for the last few months.
I've been drinking discount alcohol from somewhere. And I'm like, it's pretty good, although I can't see out of my left eye.
It's mighty vision.
I fucking, mighty lazy eye.
Oh, man. But you know what? The other day, before we get to this, the one you made into just a killer joke. What was the thing you said about the doctor? You came up with a good riff that I think will be a good joke soon.
What the hell did you just say? Mandy loves saying sentences that are this most vague. What, the one about the doctor that I made?
I'm trying to remember. We talked about it earlier this week. The doctor joke of when you were young. Playing dumb. Like the doctor said that your cholesterol is high. That's a fun doctor riff.
Oh, that's not real though.
Shit.
That's a joke we wrote. I was basically saying when the doctor was like, you have an incredibly high cholesterol score, and I'm like, I know I'm healthy. Like, it's good. That's fake. I did have high cholesterol though. It's because I ate too much short rib. Sorry. Whenever I think about like my diet and how it's been affecting me, I mean, basically you form kidney stones when you're drinking too much. You have too much calcium. I was doing too much like yogurt. My protein has a lot of and then when my cholesterol, red meats, cheeses, I'm like, no wonder why people die like young. Like I think about if this was 200 years ago, I'd be dead at like 40, just like based on that. Like, I mean, based on like the trajectory of like, I mean, they told me at like 30, that are like, yeah, your cholesterol is going up. It's down now. I figured out, but it's like if you don't know these indicators, you're like, I'm like, kings must have like that's where they just probably died at like fucking 46.
I don't know the average king death.
Hey Siri, how old were kings in the medieval era when they died?
Okay, I found this on the web for how old were kings in the medieval era when they died. Check it out.
Average. Okay, here we go. But I'm saying, like, back then, like, you look at shit now, modern medicine. That's why when people don't have health insurance, I'm like, you're crazy. Like, I
wouldn't. No. You see too many car accidents, too.
Inspired by the longest lived European monarch of the Middle Ages. What was the life expectancy of monarchs during the Middle Ages in Europe? Preliminary age, expected birth was 35 plus.
Okay, so...
Oh, but can range between 45 and 60. But that's, like, insanely young.
It is still very young.
Wow.
I bet you their cheese was good.
I'd argue otherwise.
You don't think they had good cheese?
No. Food back then was probably disgusting. They didn't know fucking herbs. I mean, they would put, like... I was thinking how back then, if I went back in time... and I just made them like an egg roll. It's just like, I'm feeding just like, imagine going back in time and I made them like a potato skin and egg rolls and like trashy bar food. Kings, it would be the most delicious thing and kings would want to eat it. And I'm like.
A Friday's platter. What was that? What's that platter called that has everything?
just like the sampler.
Yeah,
but I was thinking, like,
king sampler.
If I went back in time and made like cupcakes and potato skins, like that would be served at like high-end banquets because they didn't know how to cook anything else.
It's very true. We had
They go, bring the chef from the Netherlands, and I'm just making fucking buffalo wings. Like, what?
I have no clue. We had a friend the other day. We went out to eat. She never had a potato skin in her life.
It's a rich person. I don't understand that. You're 24 years old in 2022 and you don't know what a potato skin was, nor have you ever had one. That's a lizard person.
A lizard? Oh, I forgot about the lizard people. Let's not get into that craziness. I forgot that was a thing.
Well, it definitely is. When you go to a bar and you're like, "Do you want a buffalo wing?" They go, "What's a buffalo wing?" You're like, and you're like this, and their eyes fucking go. They blink the fucking this way.
The other night, I was pretending I was awake on the couch, and he goes, "Are you awake?" And I said yes, and I opened my eyes, and his hand was in front of my eyes to prove that I was lying.
You were not, yeah, lizard.
All right. So, what is an embarrassing, miserable moment that you did make into a joke?
I think, let me preface this where I think I'm a very rational human being and I understand logic pretty well. And sometimes the logical thing might not be the most masculine thing. You know, it's like I grew up with women, but it's like, you know,
You lived in a commune.
yeah, it was me and 48 women in the middle of Ohio. No, I mean, I was a single mom. I had my sister, 5 aunts. Anyways, so, but, you know, regardless, like, me and my sister, like, she'd be, like, fucking throwing her Barbie dolls around. I'd be throwing it. My friends were like, "You're playing with Barbie dolls." I'm like, "I'm throwing it." I mean, is the act of touching it weird? Like, my sister, you know, I know things that some people consider girly. I'm like, how come if there's 3 strands of hair and I know to take the outside ones and put it over the middle one like it's gay, I can braid? You ever think of that? You're like, why is that weird? So anyways, the one I did make into a joke is my grandmother would watch us during the day when my mom was at work, like mainly in the summer, and we would race in her pool. And as a boy in the 90s, your bathing suit was borderline pants. I mean, it was a baggy, a lot of drag, pockets. And my sister would always beat me. And I'm like, she's wearing a sleek sealskin onesie, fucking pink, just like, I go, that's not fair. I go, there's so much drag on me. You're just shooting through the water like a fucking orca. And it pissed me off. So we had a babysitter there actually that day in particular. We had our babysitter bring us to our grandmother's house. So, and in my grandmother's backyard, here's the pool. There was a clothesline here and a fence. So between the fence and the pool, the clothesline, and my grandmother always hang like sheets and clothes over it.
Classic.
Yeah. So I remember my sister's like, "Let's race." I go, "Sure, just give me a sec." And I went behind the sheets and my sister had a spare bathing suit, so I put on this yellow girl's onesie with a pink flamingo on it because I was like, I'm gonna win this fucking race.
How old were you?
I mean,
around
4 or 5. I mean,
okay.
I was young.
Older sister.
Yeah, she has an older sister. And
you have an older sister.
I have an older sister. Yes. So I'm like, and it was strictly strategy, rationale. It was not transitioning. It was not like I didn't know if I was a boy or not.
Transitioning into the win,
dude. Transitioning into goddamn Michael Phelps. But again, it was strictly like I want to go faster, and you have a thing that would make me go faster. And literally like a movie, the second I put it on and I was about to emerge from the fucking sheets, the babysitter just swiped up and looked at me and just started laughing.
Were you fully dressed yet?
I was already in the girls' one. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to race her." And she just started cracking up laughing at me. And actually, after that moment, I don't remember what happened. I kind of
suppressed it.
I kind of blacked out. I can't remember if I actually got in the pool like that. And she was a cool babysitter, which she was kind of a weird one, but she was nice. I feel like she should have said, "Go for a fucking dip," and I should have raced my sister, but I made that into a joke. And it's just funny because, like, as a guy, like, that back in the day, like that moment doesn't mean anything to me as far as like I wanted to wear a girl's bathing suit, this, that, and the other. But then it stemmed the joke of like, I would never want to be in a room hooked up to a lie detector with my friends asking me questions because I go, those things just register if you're nervous, let alone if you're being honest or not. And I can just imagine my friends being like, "Is your name Matt?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and the needle's kind of going calm. And they're like, "Are you from Connecticut?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's going calm." And they're like, "Have you ever worn your sister's bathing suit?" I don't even say anything, and it's just fucking like, flying going. So that was a joke old joke, but that was nonetheless
It's a good one.
It wasn't even embarrassing. I mean, it was just like, what? I mean, I don't know.
Did you ever tell Sarah about this?
I'm artistic. You see me. I fucking pick your nail color out. I mean, it's...
He
I
does pick my nail color out.
It's so I was thinking about that, like how being artistic and like... And I hate to say it like I'm like being cocky, but like I'm a very visual person. I mean, colors, I paint, I draw. I mean, I went to school for architecture. I'm clearly somebody who draws and designs things. But it's funny, but it's like... You can design something over here, but if I picked out her nail colors, they're like, "You're a fucking bitch." You're like, because I picked out 2 colors.
I get so many compliments on my nails since he's started choosing my colors.
Yeah, I throw out ideas. We talked about the spray paint idea.
I know.
We had show them your nails right now. And I thought like show them, and so like we got 2 shades of orange, and then I was like, no, what would look cool is if like I held like a bright neon yellow spray paint can like far away and just like one, and you just got the dots.
It would look cool.
And I'm like, but that's just a thing. It's like a thing. That could have been a painting that I did, but if it's your nails, everyone's like, "You fucking," and I'm like, all right.
I like it.
You know, so.
You chase butterflies?
One thing. What was it? I forgot, what were we watching? Oh, the Manti Te'o thing where that kid was talking, and the Caitlyn Jenner thing we watched.
Mm-hmm. It's another untold story. Same thing.
It's so weird, like how everything I've done that's girly was driven by merely like the idea of like drawing or like just being artistic. It had nothing, because you're around women so much. You never think like, oh, I'm doing like, and for Caitlyn Jenner when Bruce was younger trying on his mom. I mean, that's different. That's like, oh, you were actually trying on that closely because you think your
it's Phantom Thread stuff.
Right.
Another great movie.
And, but it's like, I remember even being younger and I'd see my mom putting on makeup and I'm like, oh, she's coloring her face in. Like, I get it. It's like, it's kind of rude to say like that. Like, she's coloring her face in. And I remember one time being younger and I'm like, I love drawing and coloring books and drawing shit. And I remember being like, can I put that on? I go, it look cool to me.
Did you say that?
Yeah. And I was
That's
like,
so cute.
But I was like, it looked cool to me. I go, oh, that's like a cool marker that you put on your lip and this and the other. And I mean, in hindsight, if you tell people that, they're probably like...
You put it on her or you put it on you?
No, I was like, can I put that on you one day? Because I just like drawing. She's like, if you want to. But I mean, as a mom to the kid, she's probably like, this kid's gay. But I was like, it literally, I just saw her face as like a canvas. And I was like, I just want to paint on your face right now.
That's cute. He trims my bush.
Yeah, I do.
He doesn't.
With my hedgers. Yeah.
Oh, man.
For the record, I do not bite her pubes off.
For the record, this is my boyfriend.
Yeah. We just met today.
He was nice enough to be my first episode.
Yay.
How fun.
It's going to go great.
And it's hot.
It is sticky here.
I appreciate all of you for listening.
Keep going. We're not done. Let's go. What time is it, actually?
Oh, we have time.
Yeah. I want to drink that other one before we go.
Oh, do you want to do another commercial break?
Yeah. We're not gonna take it. Let's go. Let's go carol at your neighbor's house. Oh, caroling's for Christmas? Guess what? It's for August 26th. We're not gonna take it. And then he starts singing with us. We're like, it's backfiring. Shit, it's backfiring.
We're not gonna take it. Okay, rolling.
Mighty Swell review. We already did peach and...
What flavor is this one?
Cherry lime.
You know, I feel like usually I don't like cherry flavored things because they remind me of medicine. But then they surprise me.
I don't even associate medicine cherry with anything else. Cherry is delicious. We gotta get cherry and put them in that puff pastry shit like we thought. Even though we got crescent rolls. We got crescent roll. I fucked up.
Ooh.
I don't know why I thought puff pastries and crescent rolls were the same thing.
They're very different, but it was for the win. We made little hot dog wieners.
Said the same word twice.
Hot dog wieners?
I just say hot dogs or wieners. Ugh. Is it good?
It is good.
Matches your lips.
You know what it tastes like? Taste it. Let's see if you guess. Which is another good drink, I'll tell you once you taste it. Remember that?
You said they're very creepy.
I know I did.
What the fuck does that taste like?
The energy drink.
What, Celsius?
The Celsius energy drink.
I did get you cherry lime.
There's there's the normal Celsius drink, and then there is the Celsius heat cherry lime.
That
Woo!
one has cocaine in it.
That one will get you jacked. You know, it's funny how he ordered something well, how you romanticize things. Like you think, I'm going to have wine and I'm going to write at night.
Oh, yeah. I try not to do that even with like other I mean, that's one thing in a comedy that gets frustrating where I'm fine with congratulating other comics and this and the other, and I do have favorites, but when people like romanticize somebody to the point where it makes you feel bad, it's like, because when you do that, they're like, oh, I watched so-and-so, they never do bad, they never bomb. We've all, but you know, for my scenario, like I've watched some of the best, like at the Comedy Store or just going on the road with them. Everybody does bad. And I'm sick of like when people other people on a pedestal. And I think they purposely do that sometimes to make you feel shittier. Like,
what do you mean?
Like sometimes I was talking to like a comic and we were talking about somebody else. I'm like, oh, they're funny. And like just the way they were like, it was such a bizarre. I'm not gonna even word it right. I wish I didn't bring it up. Like, but regardless, like the way like they were putting them on a pedestal, like you know, you're like, okay. I mean, it's like I'm a fan of them, but like we all do bad. You know, quit acting like nobody's batting 1,000 in comedy. You can watch. I mean, you watch headliner shows and they even struggle here and there. The times you see like people do like that level of well is in front of their fans on the road because it's just such an event catered around this one person. But and then the romanticizing shit, we always like one example is like when you're not sick, you're like, I can go for getting a cold's not bad. You can stay in bed and eat soup.
That's a good one.
And watch movies, and you're like, no, it's not that. Yeah, you eat those foods, but in the moment, you want everything but the cold.
I agree.
So I try not to like fantasize too much about shit.
I used to do that a lot when I was younger.
Remember that? You're like, oh. I haven't got a cold. You're like, a cold's not bad. Where you get a runny nose. You're like, no, you feel fucking terrible.
You don't have to work. You're like, you're also not getting paid. Most people.
Yeah, you're like, this is not fun at all. But yeah, in comedy, it's you know, you think about like like writing, like, oh, it's so fun. You're gonna sit down and just really dig into your life and material and mind joke. You're like, no, it's as Jerry Seinfeld put it, it's painful. You're just trudging. You don't feel like you're gaining ground. It's literally just like uphill, like you know. It's like once you wrap your head around that, you're like, and you know what things are for face value. You're like, okay, now, and it makes doing them easier. But not much. Even like working out. Working out sounds fun, and maybe some people are like, I mean, psychotic and generally like. And every now and then, I might really look forward to a workout. But before like workouts, I feel like earlier in the day, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to work out later. But always like the 15 minutes before the workout, you're always like, I don't want to work out. I want to take the pre-workout. That's the fun part.
Get you jazzed. I do love working out.
You do like working out. That's why you're a fucking weirdo.
Mighty Swells. You need to work out if you don't want to get mighty fat.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be mighty fat, but
Want to be mighty fun? Drink 5 of these.
Ooh. Now we've had 3 Mighty Swells and we have to perform.
Yeah, we should probably wrap this up.
So we'll see how this goes. Woohoo!
Thank you for having me again.
Did you have fun?
It was great. I'll be back.
Get ready. Matty Chymbor is a
You're gonna be
regular.
interviewing someone else in my head. Just gonna pop up right here, and I'm like, I found Mighty Swells.
Comment if you think he should be a regular.
Yeah, throw me a comment if you want to see the footage of my penis cam. Hashtag penis cam.
Oh my gosh. What if you asked him to buy that?
He puts his watermark on it. He goes, only if you collab with me. I'm like, what?
Oh, we didn't talk. Those would be another wieners. We'll talk about that next time. People who steal your videos. Check out his Instagram and all that shit.
Yay. Nice.
At Matty Chymbor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.